Go. Good morning. If you have not yet taken a seat, may I invite you to do so we may start the service. And along those same lines, let me remind everybody to please silence your cell phones so that we can get through this incredibly wonderful service this morning without any interruptions. I don't see any unfamiliar faces, but I just want to make sure. Anybody here for the first time? Okay, then we are good to go. So I'm going to invite Denise to please come forward and share with us today's daily word reading.
Good morning.
I'm going to raise this because you're tall.
I'm Denise, and I'm honored to be your prayer chaplain today. And after the service, if anyone would like me to pray with you regarding joys or concerns, I'll be happy to meet you back by the quiet room to do that. This morning's word is wholeness. As a divine being, I am whole. I know I am whole, wondrously made, and a unique expression of the divine. But I cannot know wholeness if I become distracted by an experience of illness or thoughts of lack or limitation. I do not resist limiting thoughts. Instead, I let the light of divine understanding dissolve the darkness of spiritual ignorance. Remembering that divine life lives as me, I affirm my body's wholeness even if I am experiencing illness. Growing awareness of the limitless flow of divine ideas reminds me I have all I need to experience a joyous, abundant life. As I say yes again and again to my true spiritual nature, my life becomes an ever-unfolding demonstration of wholeness. From Luke 11:36, if then your whole body is full of light, with no part of it in darkness, it will be as full of light as when a lamp gives you light with its rays. And so it is.
Thank you, Denise. So, in case you don't know what's coming today, we are deviating from our normal order of service in order to have a very special spiritual experience through music. And Kitty will be introducing our guest musicians in just a bit. I also want to take a moment just to remind everybody to refrain from having little conversations with one another during the service, because whether you realize it or not, the acoustics here are outstanding. And it's heard all the way up front, and it could be disruptive. So just a kind reminder in that regard. And so with that, we're going to do the announcements next. Yes, we are doing the announcements next. The class on Pathways to Prosperity will resume today after the service. So have your coffee and treat, and please join us in the adult ed room for that. The picnic planning is underway, and we are in need of volunteers. If you can help in any way, please contact Deb McQuaid. The men's group is meeting online this Tuesday evening. And gentlemen, we hope to see you all there. If you need login information, you may contact the office, and we will make sure that you get that login information. Unity is hosting the 31st annual celebration of the Unity World Day of Prayer. This year's theme is Moving Mountains. Unity invites people of all faiths to join in this sacred 24-hour prayer vigil. Unity Worldwide Ministries will be broadcasting their opening ceremony on Wednesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. And our prayer chaplains will have their service on Thursday, September 12th at 10 a.m. in the sanctuary. Traditionally, this has been a very meaningful service, And if you could make it on that Thursday morning, we really hope that you set this on your calendar and be sure to join us. And to all of you ladies, do not forget to purchase your tickets for the women's retreat on Saturday, September 7th. Stop by right outside the conference room and reserve your spot for that. That concludes our announcements, and we will continue with our Spirit's Unfolding Vision Prayer, which I ask you to join me in praying. Guided by divine wisdom, inspired by divine imagination, centered in divine love, and knowing that God is our source, we boldly move forth in faith as we allow Spirit's expanding vision to unfold in our lives, the life of the spiritual community, and our world. Thank you, God. Amen. And now, a very important part of our service is we bless the children. So I invite the children and the sponsors to please come forward so we may do that. How can you not love this innocent beauty? Join me in the blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things. And now I invite you to please move into a meditative state of prayer as we will be doing the meditation now. I invite you just to start by taking a breath. Inhale it. Let it out ever so slowly. It's a moment to get in touch with the very ground of your own personal being. Take another breath. Feel the firmness of the floor beneath your feet and the support as you lean back in your chair. And if it is comfortable for you to close your eyes, because we move forward into what commonly is known as the nothingness. It's an empty space of our own creation. We do so by putting aside all of our troubles, our worries, our problems, our issues, our concerns. We do so with an understanding that it is not rare to have these worries or problems. But we are not bound by them. And so we go into this safe place within the soul of our being, and we listen. With the noise gone, it is between us and the still small voice that resides within. And we move into a space of not just hearing that still small voice, but of feeling that still small voice. A voice that reminds us of the wonder and the awe and the splendor that is part of our wholeness in each and every one of us. It is that loving reminder that our very DNA is that of God. It's a space in which we grow in a greater realization that every hope, every dream, every aspiration is within our grasp. It is, in fact, the truth of our being. And we come to understand that we could love because we are love. We can be happy because we are joy. And we can create peace because we are peace. And so I invite you at this time just to dwell in some moments of silence. And now, softly and gently, I invite you to bring forth the beauty of yourself that you discovered in the silence. And make it into a part of the remainder of our service this morning. And so, as you are ready, you open your eyes. Reacquaint yourself with the environment, with this room, the sanctuary, and a deeper awareness of those that are seated with you or around you. And you do it all with a sense of heightened joy. And loving Spirit, for this opportunity to come together and do something that is so incredibly basic, yet incredibly profound. We come together to pray. And we acknowledge, loving Spirit, that within us is the power to move mountains. Within us is the power to bring peace, to restore peace. Within us is the power to heal. Within us is the power to love. And in this knowing, we give you thanks for this and so much more. And so it is. Amen. And now, with a true sense of enthusiasm, I ask our music director, Kitty, to come forward, who will introduce our musicians and take it from here.
This feels weird to be over here. So Michael Stryker, Dr. Michael Stryker, you know, he's been here a few times. He's also my husband. He has been a professional jazz musician and jazz educator for 35 plus years. He plays with Condition Blue. He plays with the Bob Lark Septet and Alumni Big Band, and the Stryker-Jacobson Quintet, among others, as well as the Stryker-Schultz Duo, which you're going to hear today. He's played with amazing jazz musicians such as Freddie Hubbard and Jim Snydero. And this is our good friend Ryan Schultz. Ryan and Michael have known each other for, 30 years or something like that? They were budding musicians together, right? Let's just say that. They kind of came up together and have been really close friends of Michael's family for many, many years. Ryan is obviously a Chicago-based jazz musician. He's moved to the city in the late 80s, and he's been in demand ever since as a fine brass player, and he's brought his bass trumpet today, which if you heard a little bit of it as you were coming in, it's really beautiful sound. He leads his own groups, including the Schultz-McCullough Group, Quartet of Doom. Maybe we should bring you back for Halloween or something like that. And many other groups. And he performs regularly with Damon Short Sextet, Mulligan Mosaic Big Band, and the Stryker-Schultz Duo, as well as many others. And he's also performed with many great jazz musicians. Many of them local, such as John Arabagon and Dave Liebman. So yeah, it's a really amazing pleasure to have both of them today here to share their music with us and some thoughts on the blending of music and spirituality. And just a little tiny plug, you're playing together a live broadcast on Friday night, right?
On the 28th.
28th, which is a Friday though, right? Oh, Wednesday. Okay, never mind me. I don't know why I had Friday stuck in my head. Wednesday the 28th, WDCB, right? WDCB. Yeah, and it's a live broadcast from Piano Forte, downtown Chicago, right? So Michael gets to play on this amazing, not that this isn't a beautiful instrument, but he gets to play on this amazing instrument, and so that's something kind of cool. All right, and here, I'll let you take it away.
Well, we're so pleased to see everybody here and to see friends and to have my good friend for some 40 years playing some music for you. We're going to start with a tune written by Miles or John Lewis. I'm not sure which one. This is a tune called Milestones. It was written by Miles Davis and recorded many, many years ago for the first time by Charlie Parker, in whose band Miles was playing at the time. And they'll have some thoughts after that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that was fun. So I have a few thoughts, and I would like to acknowledge my partner in crime, who was very helpful. Not crime, life, but maybe life is not a crime. I've made a connection between improvisation and jazz improvisation and the way that we lead our lives. And I run a monthly jazz prayer service 7 months of the year at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. And so it's been an important part of my life for some time. And just would like to make a few comments. And then we'll play, and then a few more comments. So jazz music is all about finding ways to talk to one another. It's about ways to have conversation with one another on the bandstand. And surely technique is important. Surely knowledge of harmony is important, knowledge of rhythm, knowledge of melody, knowledge of the history of the music in terms of its recordings, and so many things. All of those things aside, what's more important, in my opinion, is the ability to listen to who you're talking to musically, in this case, Ryan, my duo partner. It's also important to have the ability to listen to ourselves, to find the patience and trust in ourselves to be silent and not play until we hear a musical thought in that space. When one is improvising at a high level, it may seem to those in the audience, and it certainly at times still seems like that to me, it seems like musical gestures are happening instantaneously. That our duo playing is a musical conversation that's happening as easily as chatting over coffee with an old friend. It takes a lot of practice and study to do what we do. In my opinion, there are deep parallels to our earthbound journeys. When life throws us curveballs, when we're at a loss as to what comes next, we find ourselves in those situations in a very uncomfortable space. And our first tendency in an uncomfortable space, I know it's been mine for years as a player and in life, is to immediately, I got to do something. Whatever it might be, I got to play something. I got to play something that I didn't hear in advance. I got to do something. I got to run out and buy a car. I got to move across country, whatever it might be. So, we get forced to improvise. We're being forced into a comfortable space. But if we take a breath, if we're patient, if we use our life skills, our spiritual skills, our relationship to the light, to friends and family, to allow choices, if we do that, choices will present themselves to us. comes as a moment, as an impulse, as a flash. But if we listen to ourselves in that silence, we hear a choice. We make that choice and we see where that action leads. Then we repeat that process. And often a problem or situation sorts itself out. We don't know the end product. But if we're patient in music, that end product presents itself. If we're patient in life, and it's a difficult lesson to learn, one which I learn every day still, and I think we all do, then we have an impulse to make a move, to do something. Hopefully that leads us to the next thing to do and the next thing to do. So with those thoughts in mind, let's stop. Well, actually, one other point. In my opinion, no spiritual path tells us the end of our situation first, but it does give us a direction to go in. Jazz music in general and jazz improvisation in particular works this way. So we're going to continue now with a tune entitled Elm by a pianist named Richie Byrack. You get goosebumps on that tune. It's just exceptionally beautiful. One of the impetuses for this particular combination of folks, I moved to Champaign, Illinois in 19-something. And Ryan was one of the first people I met, and we started to play together. And we started to play duo on a Wurlitzer piano at your house, I think. Sure we did. But one of the impetuses for the duo is a duo with Richie Byrack and the great saxophonist Dave Liebman, who played duo together for many years. And so that's one of the places that this group comes from. Now, a couple more comments, and then we'll play a couple more tunes for you. The talk title, The Best Laid Plans. To me, plan has two meanings. Plan is the life skills, it's the experience, the spiritual knowledge, it's all that we are up to any point in time. It's all that we've learned in our lives. It's analogous to a musician's technical and theoretical skills, which also develop over time. The other meaning uses plans as it appears in the talk title. When what we expect to happen in life doesn't, and when doesn't it fail to surprise us, we use plans, our life experiences, in the first sense, to improvise a solution. When what we expect to happen when improvising, when having a musical conversation, when it goes awry, define whatever awry does. This is a living art. When it doesn't go as we expect, that's fine. That's actually what we want. We try to use our musical skills to modify our conversation. Our individual and group stories in that situation still get told, because Ryan's soloing, he's got a story, a narrative. I'm soloing, I've got a story or narrative. But in the performance of the melody and in our relationship to one another as we move from solo to solo and interact musically, there's a group story being told. Eventually we get where we want to go. And I think that's what happens in life. Basically, life is one giant improvisation. We have our plans, they don't always go where we expect, but we modify, find a different way to get to the grocery store if Roosevelt is blocked off, whatever it might be, and then, we live our lives. So I think there's a huge analogy between the music that we play and the life that we're leading. We'd like to move on to,
Maybe switch.
oh, should we do, yeah, how are we on, yeah, let's go to the blues. We'll do blues for Liebstrom. It's a Chick Corea tune that Ryan introduced me to 3 days ago.
Me too. You introduced it to me too.
Okay, here we go.
That's like.
Thank you.
How are we on time? I've lost track of time.
Perfect,
10:45.
perfect for the next.
Perfect. You want us to play one more? Okay. Then we will play one more. This is a Wayne Shorter composition entitled Lost, which I was for just a split second.
You want to play first? Sure. One, two, one, two, three, one.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's necessary that we deviate from the norm once in a while, and this is a refreshing deviation, or variation is a better word, because there are different paths and different ways to spiritual growth and discoveries of who and what we are. So, Michael, Ryan, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate you. But some things never change. So now we are going to have our love offering. And thank you so much for your dollars and cents that you contribute. And thank you so much for the sense of self that you are so generous in sharing with one another as part of the spiritual family. It really, really means a lot. So I invite you to join with me in praying our affirmations, which I hope are up there because they're not in the bulletin. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we have, we give, and we receive. So now it's time for our congregational blessing. I invite you to stand, turn to one another or across the aisle and confer that blessing. Remain standing for the prayer of protection, and after which there will be one final, I guess the word is postlude, by Michael and Ryan. So let's do our congregational blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things. In our prayer of protection, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you. Justin?
Nice, man.